Becoming a demon would completely change the Demon Slayer story as we know. Forces with Muzan would increase the death toll of the Demon Slayer Corps exponentially. Those few Hashira who made it alive out of the Infinity Castle might not have if Rengoku had taken up Akaza on his offer. It wouldn't be the first time, you know. It happened twice before, when a powerful Demon Slayer chose to drink a demon's blood and become one himself. The first time this happened was 5 centuries before the current timeline of Demon Slayer. Muzan Kubutsuji convinced Hashira Michikatsu Sugikuni to turn into a demon. Michikatsu was the older brother of Yoriichi Sugikuni. You know, the all-powerful demon slayer who defeated Muzan many moons ago. Well, he had an older brother envious of his powers, and that envy became the catalyst for his becoming a demon. Today you might know Michikatsu by his demon name, Kokushibo, the upper rank 1 of the 12 Kizuki. Yeah, that's how bad jealousy changes you. The second notable time when a demon slayer became a demon was when the thunder-breathing user Kaigaku did the same when he met Kokoshibo and had to choose between becoming a demon or death. For Rengoku, this choice popped up during the Mugen Train incident in his fight against Akaza. The Upper Moon 2 had pretty much brutalized Rengoku, and on seeing Rengoku's determination and will to live, Akaza offered up the chance for eternal life to the good old Flame Hashira. But we all know how that went. Rengoku had a heart of gold, so he couldn't possibly have accepted the offer. He instead chose to die a noble death. Now, if we looked at it differently, let's say Rengoku accepted Akaza's proposal. That would have changed the course of Demon Slayer completely. There are 2 ways the scenario could have played out. The first, and darker, but unlikely ending of the 2, being Rengoku becomes a demon, and with Akaza, he kills Tanjiro and everyone present there, effectively ending the Demon Slayer story. But these types of endings hardly ever take place. If you remember the events of the Mugen Train arc, you might recall that the sun was about to come up in the final moments leading to Rengoku's death. Let's say if Rengoku did choose to become a demon, then he would have likely had to retreat with Akaza because of the approaching threat of daylight. Furthermore, according to the manga, Rengoku's body would need around 3 days to completely transform into a demon. When Muzan turned Michikatsu into a demon, it took 3 days for him to transform. In the Demon Slayer manga, it is explained that the bodies of Hashiras and other stronger demon slayers tend to take more time to transform into demons. This likely has to do with the fact that they use the breathing styles that are accustomed to fighting demons. Since Rengoku is a Hashira too, the same would go for him as well, hence leading him to retreat with Akaza for the time being. Now, as for how Rengoku becoming a demon would change the story, there are an endless number of ways that it could play out. Having said that, with Rengoku just being newly transformed, his focus for the succeeding arcs of Demon Slayer would be to consume humans and get stronger. Rengoku would be munching on humans, chanting, "Delicious!" Even imagining that just gives you the creeps. Becoming a demon exponentially raises your strength, as can be seen in the cases of Kokoshibo and Kaigaku. We already know Rengoku gave Akaza a tough time during their battle, so in his demon form, Rengoku would end up far surpassing Akaza in power, likely to the point of being on par with the Upper Moon 2 Doma. Rengoku would definitely be promoted to Upper Moon 3 by Muzan. Afterward, odds are Rengoku wouldn't have appeared in the manga again until the Infinity Castle arc, when the Demon Slayer Corps attacks the castle and the final battle begins. The Entertainment District, Swordsmith Village, and Hashira training arcs just don't feel like the right entry points. We already had upper moons like Daki, Hentengu, and Gyoko headlining them. Adding Rengoku in the mix would just mess things up. And besides, Tanjiro and the others barely made it out alive from those arcs. If Rengoku was in them, they would have died for sure. That's why Rengoku not appearing until the Infinity Castle arc would seem right. But once the arc arrived, Rengoku just being present as an upper moon in the Infinity Castle would mean certain death, even for those who barely made it out of there. When the doors of the Infinity Castle opened and everyone was drawn into the dimension, each of them was separated in pairs and encountered different upper moons. Giyu and Tanjiro encountered Akaza, Zenitsu met Kaigaku in battle, Shinobu, Inosuke, and Kano fought Doma, while Mitsuri and Obanai had to deal with Nakame. Elsewhere, Gyome, Genya, Sanemi, and Muchiro were pitted against Kokoshibo. If a demonic Rengoku accompanied any of these upper moons, the Demon Slayers unlucky enough to be in that team would have died for sure. But first, there would have been a pretty big monologue between the Hashiras and Rengoku. The Hashiras and Tanjiro would say things like how disappointed and saddened they were to see Rengoku as a demon, how they thought he was better than that, and how they'd end up killing him for his decision.
Don't watch me, bro!
In reply, Rengoku would laugh loudly like a maniac, and say he did it to get stronger, or that humans are weak or something in the same vein as that. As for once the actual fighting began, and what the outcome would be, you need to first understand that in the manga, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke, Kano, Giyu, and Sanemi are the only people who survive till the end. Out of the 7 Hashiras that assaulted the Infinity Castle, only 2 made it out alive. With Rengoku present at the Infinity Castle, you can bet at the very least both Sanemi and Giyu would surely have died. Zenitsu or Inosuke might have joined that list too. That said, there's no way Muzan would win in the canon ending of Demon Slayer. So while Giyu and Sanemi would have ended up dying too, Tanjiro, Inosuke, Kano, and Zenitsu would defeat Muzan to get the happy ending. There's a quote that goes, "The one who will win is the one who the author wants to see win." And that perfectly sums up every manga, movie, and medium for a story ever created. On that note, even without Rengoku, Demon Slayer could be written in a way that Muzan wins, and the Demon Slayer Corps is defeated. And the same can still happen in an alternate timeline, where Rengoku becomes a demon as well. Thought of a creative way that Rengoku becoming a demon might have changed the story? Tell us about it in the comments.